The New World devs just released a massive patch here, fixing a lot of bugs in Catacombs and, well, fixing the bugs on gears. First we'll discuss the Catacomb bugs and the questing. After that, we'll move on to the gear changes as they're pretty catastrophic. First, they fixed an issue where players are unable to access the Serum Soul Trial at the Monastery Isle, so it means all you PvE quest enjoyers, you can finally now play the game and finish your main story quest. We must rejoice. The issue where you can progress the story by talking to an NPC. I mean, the devs are finally on top of things. This is not like them. They must be smoking a line of Mountain Dew and Dorito dust, because this is out of pocket. Now the big ones, the Catacombs. Fix the issue where the gates would close, still after, well, sometimes not killing raffle bones. For those of you who do not know, the Catacombs have had some massive bugs where rooms were not opening or staying closed even after you use the levers or stuff like that. But this patch really just addresses that. The extraction portal would also fail to spawn, causing players to fail the extraction. So there was a bug where you used to sit at the end of the extraction, trying to escape after spending 30 minutes of your hard-earned time just for the game to bug out, even though you did everything right. So they're fixing that as well. Fixed an issue with the secret door in Castle Drac was occasionally not opening as expected, so more issues are being fixed everywhere. Here's the big one, boys. Fixed an issue that allowed old perks to be placed onto new crafting items via perks. This was not intended, so we had to remove the ability to use perk items on these recipes for already crafted items. The mix, the old and the new perks, we swapped all of them out with the old perks with empty charm slots. Game's skill slots, offensive theme became offensive slots, and so on and so forth. Translation, crafting armor and weapons, and I would say even pretty much jewelry here, is gone out the window. It's more going to be used as a starter gear, as well you can just farm this type of gear at Sun and be rocking. Do your chest runs and you'll be good to go, as you can actually get in fixed perks that are massively game changing, where right now crafting really doesn't have any option in the game. And they said this when they first were making Season 10, they didn't really want crafting to be viable because of all the gold it would cost to buy gear, and people could always just swipe to get best in slot, basically making them not have to ever play their game to, you know, be the top dog. So they wanted to fix this with crafting, and now it's officially, I would say, pretty much dead. You might have some weird crafting recipes you can hit, so I would always check that out if you're truly trying to min-max this. But you'll see on each server the market of materials for matrices like Mithril and like my Orichalcum, they're starting to drop like flies because, well, no one's going to be crafting gear anymore. I would also highly recommend you check the market right now for crafted gear, as, well, they changed how you craft it, but some of the gear got some really weird spawns, meaning you could have a really good piece of gear on the market right now for relatively cheap. So when you get home from work, or if you're available to play right now, I highly recommend checking out the trade post for armor, weapons, and jewelry, and seeing if you can find any god perks here that got accidentally changed by the devs. Because let's be honest, chat, we know the devs are good at making mistakes. Like, they're professionals. You think they would do this for their career. But anyways, we'll dive a little bit more into that later. They've also fixed an issue which prevented the focus and the tenacity set and several infixed items from appearing on the PvP track. This one is really big in my opinion, as PvPing was something I was kind of avoiding because it was bugged. The track wasn't dropping a lot of good loot, and it was just simply not appearing in the game. But with this patch, hopefully the PvP track drops better gear overall now, and you can get some good fixes / set bonuses from the PvP track, then will make it worth farming. So this is a very happy patch for all my PvP gremlins out there. They fixed crashing, fixed the issue with the elementally charged set bonus wouldn't trigger if the chest piece for the bonus was not equipped. So there was a bug with the set bonus, if you guys didn't know, where it wasn't working properly, and I guess it was the chest piece was making it kind of spaz out here. It was going down bad, but thankfully they fixed this. I hope to God this isn't the same for the new sets that just got added in, like the tenacity and the focus set. Hopefully these things are working properly and we might be able to actually lock it in. They've also fixed gem splitting, by the way, so So if you guys were using that gem spitting bug from earlier, well, that's no longer gonna work, boys. So you'll have to find something else to cheese the meta. Now let me hop in the game so I can show you a few examples of this new crafting gear so you have a better idea. Alright, let's check out the crafted gear. If you guys want to know how to do that, you can click this button right here. Hit gear skill range, I recommend 7, 10 plus. We don't look at any old gear. You can hit gem slot at there just to look for any. Next, to scroll down, look for the legendaries. We do not care about anything that's in purple or blue. That's completely irrelevant. Here, you can just quickly hover over. Gorgon will be Gorgon crafts. Night Veil will be Night Veil crafts. We don't want to look at those. Those aren't too valuable. What we're mainly here for is these little random legendaries that could have some relatively good gear. A great example of this is actually, well, my hatchet. My hatchet here was an absolute steal at 6,000 gold. This thing comes with 2 skill slots, 1 offensive slot, and a gem slot. Pretty much best in slot. The only thing that would be better would be having N there on my Shirking Abyss, or maybe attunement instead of that offensive slot. But hey, for 6k, this is relatively strong for a hatchet. So that's what I recommend doing, boys. Just look for whatever weapon you want. Pro tip, just type in a gem slot for the weapon. This is what I like to do every day, especially for my greatsword, as you never know what kind of shenanigans you might find on the market, as people generally don't know the value of a lot of things, especially the newer players. They might sell things that are worth 5k and they're worth actually 70k, or they might sell something for 50k that's only worth 5k. They have no idea on the pricing. Therefore, I highly recommend scouring the market, especially right now with all the new crafting gear getting changed. You could definitely find some pretty much best in slot gear for a relatively cheap price. Something else that has changed a lot, and I think will change in the future, is going to be the price of materials. So right now, the price of materials haven't really changed because the patch just dropped. But orichalcum, stuff like star metal ingots, this stuff should all start to drop over the course of the next few days, because people won't be needing this to craft as many, pieces of gear. Right now, people have been rolling a lot, especially trying to cheese out the system with Enchanted War, because they were calling the devs bluffing. They're all in, and they got screwed over massively. Now they're back, cleaning up the crap in your local toilet. Now, should you sell these materials or hold them? I would probably start selling my materials such as star metal, mithril, and all that crafting stuff. Something I would also recommend selling would be your matrices. These right now are extremely overpriced, especially since no one should be chasing these crafts anymore. And if they do, they might find a little loophole in the system. I'll make sure to let you guys know if I figure that out. But I would highly recommend selling all your matrices, your jewelry, your weapons, and your armory matrices. And these right now are heavily overpriced. You will still need these though for your artifacts, so do keep that in mind. Don't sell them all. Make sure you have at least 1 or 2 left for your artifacts, such as your blood drinker or your old crown, because you want to make sure you can upgrade those still, as that's important for doing your content. New World devs have really been on top of things this season, with the quick hot fixes in terms of the exploits, in terms of the farming, with the quick updates to gear, and fixing the double enchanted stacking, because that was completely broken. I also think people in PvP will now be a lot squishier because they won't be able to stack double enchanted. You could definitely feel it, especially when you've been playing the game a lot, when you fight somebody who has double enchanted, as their just tankiness is through the roof and it just doesn't feel natural. Something else they've changed is the PvP track though. I want to mention this a bit more, as you can get very good gear. So I highly recommend slotting into that PvP mode, such as Capture the Flag, CTF, as those will give you the best overall loot in terms of umbral and progression on your track. 3v3s is technically the fastest for your PvP track, but it gives less umbral, so just pick whichever one you like. And if you like OPR and just to chill and relax, then hop into a battleground and start nuking people left and right. That's pretty much going to cover everything for the patch. If anything changes, I'll make sure to let you guys know with either a pinned comment or another video. With that, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as I'm always bringing you the best new content. And if you really want to support your boy, become a YouTube channel member, become one with the Horde brothers. And with that, peace.